Exodus
21 and 5.
Yeah. 21 and 5, when the brother was talking about how Esau wants to stamp his sheep. Because basically he looks at the people as sheep.
Yeah,
calls them Gawayim.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you break down the 666 in Revelations, the 13th and 18th verse, the breakdown for 666 is Kaisai stigma, which the stigma, when you break that down, goes back to the word to cut, and to implant, and to make a stake. Because when you break down the word karagma, the root word for that is karax.
We even got the karagma.
And Salak, Esau calls us Goyim, not Gawayim.
Yeah,
Gawayim is an Israelite.
Yeah.
That's in a Hellenistic state.
Yeah.
But he calls us Goyim. And he's a Jewish Yiddish language and all that bullshit. But just to go back, the karagma, the root word for that is karax, and that word means to make a stake and a stamp, you know. So basically he wants to stake everyone, man. He wants to make sure everyone is under his rule and under his commandments, man.
Yeah.
And turns against the law, statutes and commandments of the Most High. And he's going to try his hardest to accomplish that. But you know, we all know that the elect's going to come out of that.
That's right, man. Because
the scriptures say the elect is not going to take that mark, man. But just to give it back to the brother, you know.
That's cool. Yeah, I was just going to say as well, stigma. Also, it's like the root word. The word 6 comes from. You get the word sex from 6.
Yeah.
Because it means to cut.
Yeah. Which is the word they call it a hymen.
Yeah, hymen.
Yeah.
So it just shows that it all ties in, man. All you false prophets out there, man, are trying to scatter the sheep. You know, the elect are not going to be fooled by your games and your little theatrics that you're performing, because all the information is coming out. Nate said that, you know, you can't get the chip is just for GPS. All of this information it's not correct. You get me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
going back to the passport.
Yeah, going back to the passport. I'm on the passport page here. Just a point we're going to make on the passport. So it says here, during World War I, European governments introduced border passport requirements for security reasons, to keep out spies and to control the emigration of citizens with useful skills, retaining potential manpower. These controls remained in place after the war and became standard procedure, though not without controversy. So the passport originally started off, it wasn't a mandatory item as it is today. It started off temporarily for security reasons during World War I, but then afterwards it remained in place and then became standard procedure. So that's the same thing with the chip. Now they're bringing in the chip and it's not mandatory. You've got the Olympics 2012. They're going to have athletes having the chip, and that's going to be their way of promoting it. And they're probably going to be using the entertainment business, saying going to have rappers and whatnot saying, they've got the chip, promoting it, making people like the idea of the chip. Just like with the healthcare ideas, they've got that advert where if this guy's knocked out and we don't know who he is, or if he's allergic to penicillin, and because he's got the chip now we can know that we can save him. They're promoting in different little ways to grab different markets of people, different demographics of people, so they like the chip, so they like the idea of the chip, they get used to it, and then when it becomes mandatory, there's not going to be as much resistance. Because even on the page where it said different uses about, you know, we said it earlier about having an image of yourself and a dress on the mirror, like that's a form of getting these dumb nigger bitches to fucking, even though we're going to be running for the chip anyway. But it's a way to entice these stupid women out there, man. To just bring them in, say, you can feel like a superstar because J-Lo does this, Beyonce does that, Rihanna does that. You get me? They have the chip.
Yeah, there was even the other instance, which we found out on Saturday about them wanting to give old people, elderly people the chip so they couldn't have to waste time going to the GP getting their injection.
Yeah.
And that the insulin or whatever will be inside the chip, and it will do it.
Or release it
manually by itself.
Times,
you know? Yeah. So these devils always trying to conjure up different ways and trying to promote this chip, man.
Yeah.
Like the brother was saying, the Olympics is going to be one of those main tools because everyone's going to be at the Olympics and watching it. You know, the whole world.
All around Europe, from around the world.
Right.
So it's a global.
Yeah. They're saying it was going to cure osteoporosis, I believe. But even you had prior to that, there was a guy, it was an Arab guy, I believe, that lived in Germany trying to patent the RFID chip that is actually secretes cyanide. Yeah. So it's that same technology. If there's a chip that's secreting, medicines to maintain the person that has the chip, it's the same technology. So obviously these people that bring out these stories or deal with this technology, they're all in bed together. They all know they're all in one mind, but they just channel it through different sides. They just get this person to play on the right and this person to play on the left. Yeah.
But wait a minute, let me continue with this article. It says though not without controversy, British tourists of the 1920s complained, explaining about attached photographs and physical descriptions which they considered led to a nasty dehumanization. So even with the passport, they were because it was forced on them in such a way, it led to people didn't like it. So then with the chip, they're trying to avoid that by bringing all these different methods of making people like the chip, thinking, oh, the chip's a good thing.
So they're basically trying to make the pros outweigh the cons, so to speak.
Yeah. You get more advantages from it, it's healthy and all that.
Yeah, because that even goes back to the advantages, because you had elders bring out all the time, man. Aaron Russo was offered an exclusive pass by Nick Rockefeller.
I was gonna go. I've got.
Okay,
Well, let me.
I'll hold it up until you go into it.
Because I was gonna go into next. There's different types of passports. Because if you go down to here, it tells you types of passports. There's ordinary passport, official passport, diplomatic passport. There's different emergency passport. There's different levels of a passport that you can get, and because of the different levels, that shows with the chip it's going to be the same thing. So there's going to be the chip for the average Joe at the bottom, the guy who just works the 9 to 5. There's going to be the chip for the entertainers, the chips for the billionaires, millionaires, and that. Then there's going to be the elites chips just below the ones that don't need to get chipped. So there's going to be all these different levels. And if you go to just got here what Aaron Russo said about what Nick Rockefeller told him. Says I used to say to him, what's the point of all this, states Russo. You have all the money in the world you need. You have all the power you need. What's the point? What's the end goal? To which Rockefeller replied, paraphrasing, the end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society, to have the bankers and elite people control the world. So the bankers and elite people are not going to have the same level chip as the guys at the bottom. And if I continue, it says, Rockefeller even assured Russo that if he joined the elite, his chip would be specially marked so as to avoid undue inspection by the authorities. So then that shows you there's going to be different levels to the chip, because if he's saying he's going to have a chip so he doesn't get inspected, that means there's going to be different levels, and you can't think that Nick Rockefeller is going to have if he has a chip, he's going to have a chip on the same level as the guys that he's looking to control.
That's right, man. Just like what the brother was talking about before, man, about the different levels and all that, and people having the different chips and all that. Because just like in that film with Justin Timberlake, which what was the name? In Time, well, they basically had like an arm, not an armband, but the arm was tattooed with numbers, and they had different zones, basically for the rich, the middle class, and the poor, man. So that's what the brother's going into. That's what's going to happen with all these the goyim, the sheep out here, man. You're going to have your rich so-called digital money that they're going to have in their chip. like Donald Trump and all them fraudsters out there, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna have that chip, man, and they're gonna think they're rich and all that, and then you're gonna have the middle class probably, and then you're gonna have the poor, man. That's gonna be on the welfare, because they even said the welfare, with the welfare thing, you ain't gonna be able to get your every 2-week money or whatever, unless you got that chip, man. They ain't gonna use the card no more, man. You're gonna have to have that chip if you want to eat, man.
Your Section 80, your job seekers allowance, all that type of
job seekers, they're gonna start instituting that as well. It ain't gonna be no more coming to sign in and all that. It's gonna be, if you want to eat, you better take that chip.
And then even you probably do your search online, and it's gonna go. You ain't got to fill out that. For this is obviously for the people that are out here in the UK. You're gonna fill out your booklet to say what job searches you've been making. But you won't have to do that no more.
You won't have to do that.
You go online and it's going to be in alignment. It's just going to, okay, we can see, we'll pull up your records on our computer.
That's it, man.
And we can see what you really searched for.
Every little thing you've done, where you've been and all that, man. They don't know if you're lying before
It's all going to be logged, man.
You know what's funny? It's like the Oyster, when you put your Oyster card on the thing, and you can look at your Oyster history.
Everything.
Yeah.
And they even said way back when they decided to give like, this is in the UK, I think it was in 2006 or 2006, they decided to give free bus travel to everyone under the age of 18, and from 16 to 18 it was when they were in school. And they said the police might use the Oyster card data, basically where people have been traveling to, they might request the data from Transport for London, so they could see where certain people were and if they committed certain crimes.
I remember.
So then that's what I remember they said that was going to be a problem. They didn't want the police constantly coming to them and asking for data on so person where they've been, so they can see if they committed such and such crime. So then, like, they've had these systems in place already. It's just the chips just bringing it all together into one.
Ties it all in. Because even you said that it's like the passport has many different levels. You have like the so-called elites, not like the elite banking families, but the people underneath them that people think are
millionaires,
rich.
billionaires.
Bill Gates and all that. But then you also have like different level credit cards. Like bank accounts. You have like the gold card, the black card, red card, whatever color card, silver, all that. Or if you're like me now, you just have the standard cash card version, Because it's funny, because it's like even with the passports, I'm sure a lot of people weren't familiar with different level passports. I just thought those were kind of one level, standard level.
But now they got the chip. Now they're gonna have they don't even need all that border control, man, because they're gonna know like who's coming in and who's coming out of the countries, man.
And they could even have it in a way where if you cross a certain border with your chip in, then bang, cyanide pops out the chip, you're dead.
All right, this next story may sound like something out of, a Hollywood thriller. A Saudi inventor has created a killer microchip. It's designed to track terrorists and criminals and, well, you can think of somebody. Not only does it include a GPS device, it also has a lethal dose of cyanide, which can be activated at any time. You get my point? The inventor's bid for a patent has been rejected in Germany. Joining us now this morning to talk about it, Jake Ward, deputy editor of Popular Science. Okay, this is pretty macabre, pretty sinister and nefarious. How exactly would this work?
Well, there's a category of technology that involves GPS tracking systems being shrunk down to the size where you could actually implant it surgically. And we've seen a number of applications for this. This is without question the most sinister version of it that I've certainly heard of. And the notion of tracking criminals is not new, but the notion of killing them remotely, I think, is a whole new thing.
Yeah, and Germany says, look, we're not going to approve this.
It's just like the zone things, because it's like in that film, they're showing you if the poor try to get into the rich, they'll basically find out the police will come and just take your the chip away from you, man. Basically, So they're all gonna try and construct some way to control how people are moving, man. But this whole thing together with the Olympics and all that, that's gonna be a big offshoot for the thing, man. Until the March, the 23rd, when they're supposed to when the RFID chip's supposed to be mandatory, and that's coming out now. The Elder Tahar came out with it first, but now you're seeing all types of videos, people pushing this out on March the 23rd and all that, man. So this thing's close, man.
Also, they showed you in the movie In Time, you had something called time zones, like the brothers were saying.
Yeah.
You got them time zones, and you got the timekeepers, man, which are basically the police, right? And when